Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
Okay, so, Easter is an important week right now for us because we've got to get back to Christ. We live in a world right now that wants to do away with the family, with the traditional family, and we know where that push is coming from. It's not coming from our Father in heaven. It's just simply not. We want to get back to being a Christ-centered in every way community. And when we have our local governments and our big government, federal government trying to push us away from these things, we know where that's coming from, and it can't be good. The end result is not good. That we've been warned about that in the Book of Mormon. We're warned about that in Isaiah. And so being Christ focused in every sense of that phrase is going to be the most important.
And it's important. It just related experience that we just had in work. That's it was a hit financially. The job we did, first of all, and the thing is, and I want to show where people are. This is why I think we've got to get Christ back in. Now, I'm not talking about people that claim to be conservatives, claim to be red, and but they're from the Bay Area. And so I always say all the Bay Area conservatives I meet are not conservatives I want to be with in Zion. I'm sorry. Those people from the Bay Area are contaminated with blue. And, where I want to be away from California conservatives. And I hate to say that, but they are not true conservatives. I'll give you an experience. And this is not the first time this has happened. But, in California, you're allowed to steal a lot here. I think the threshold now is $2,000 before you can even do anything in court, right? And you have to have all kinds of licensing. Everything else out here to do anything, just even to breathe the air, you have to have permits in this place. It's just pathetic anymore. So I definitely not staying here, right? But we did this, and there were some people. I did some work for this guy. We did 3 big jobs for this guy. Came out beautiful, bathroom remodels and stuff like that, right? I'm in construction, and then his sister comes along and she wants to work, and she talked to us the whole time. We were at this guy's house for a few months, because we did like these 3 big jobs we've done and go back again a few weeks later and do more. Anyway, long story short here. We go to do his sister's house in January. And what I do is I always kind of book out, and I got to book people booked out, and they give me a deposit to hold that date. And I didn't charge her that. Well, come Christmas time, right before Christmas, she tells us, we had the whole month of January blocked out. She tells us, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I didn't charge that deposit. And so I'm going in to buy gifts for Christmas. I can't. I got no work for the whole month of January now. I got to see if I can pull people up. It's Christmas time. I can't move people around. So our Christmas sucked. I filled in 2 weeks of January, but it hurt us. It put us back, right? So we survived it in February. And then all of a sudden she wants to go again in March. And I had to kind of redo her bid a bunch of times, talk to her a bunch of times. She's really, really indecisive. And I just got to my point. I thought, man, I probably shouldn't do this job. I had a good experience with her brother to that point. Anyway, long story. I get on a job, and her brother comes in one day, and she's asking me all kinds of questions. And every time I walk in, she changed her mind. And so I spent a lot of time really working with her. I went out of my way to just be like her interior designer, as well as her contractor, as well as her, just a lot of time I spent trying to help this woman understand what she wanted to do in her bathroom remodel. We're on this, and she comes and she keeps changing her mind and keeps adding things to it. Well, we had this deal. It was just under $17,000 job. And I came in and I took off like 40% because she's like, I can't afford it. I said, look, let's do this then. I had some time, I had a couple of weeks. I said, let's just go in and do this for you, and I'll do it for this much money. And she's okay, great. Well, it was all written down. It was on the contract, right? I said, I'll do it all. Instead of charging all this money, I'll do it all for this much. Here we go. Once we got started, add-ons. And then it comes out that she doesn't intend to pay me for those add-ons. So I got to the point where I just said, look, I can't keep doing these add-ons because it's rolling over now my schedules. I can't get here every day on, work full days, etc. And so what about a week like that? I says, you're going to have to let me get the job done now because you rolled me out. And she's okay, that's fine. Well, about the end of that week, I show up the other day to work and I've got my partner there working and I show up to pick up my partner and I got to take off and go to the doctor. And so I get there and they're all upset that I'm not there working. And he out and starts talking to me. And this husband is a typical Barbie Ken doll. He just does whatever she says. He is a wimp. Nice guy and all. He talks tough, right? But she says to him, shut your mouth. He just shuts it down. Literally, he just shuts down. It was incredible. It's almost like watching something in a movie. And I thought to myself, one of the things we got wrong in this society is men are not being men. We're being run by the women. I'm sorry not to offend anybody, women, but the patriarchy does. It is divine. And this woman, this is the problem, comes in and verbally assaults me on 2 occasions. So second occasion, I said, I'm not doing this. I packed up my stuff and I left and I said, we can just sit down and talk and we can discuss this out, but there's no more verbal assaults. There's no more additions. We do what's on the agreement. Well, she fired us and she was going to pay us. That's a big chunk of money. I was planning on getting $8,000, this week for the remainder of that job. And, $8,000, not a lot of people, not a lot of money to people, but to some people. But to us, coming back here from South America and have to start over again because COVID just wiped us out with our business we had down in the jungle. It's a lot of money for us right now. And so they don't want to pay me. They don't pay us anything. And we did all the work. And now she's going to hire somebody else to finish it. And she thinks she's going to save the $8,000. I can't do nothing in California. And the point being that the ethics of these people that are so-called Christians and and conservatives, their mindset, the manipulation tactics they use is no different that we're seeing from the left. And so what's happening is these Christian conservatives are, the idea is, well, if they can get away with it, I can get away with it. And they just become this, this woman is so narcissistic. It's pathetic. And I'm trying to be a good example. I really want to just go over and, punch him in the nose, so to speak, and demand my money. But I can't here. If I go over there to demand my money, I'll get arrested. I can't do anything here in California at all. I'm strapped. People want to screw me, they can screw me. And this is the second time it's happened in a year. The same type of situation. Same type of people from the Bay Area that move up here in our red little area, and they bring this mentality with them. And it's just getting frustrating. So we're looking at, we have to spin our business off something else because it's getting worse. And that's my point I want to get to, why we got to put Christ back in. I'm not saying that to cry about it. I'm saying that to make a point. Though I would like to cry about it because I was planning that money this week, right? But so it hurts our Easter now. So what are we doing for Easter? Well, all right, I got to tap into savings for Easter, right? Because we're still living hand to mouth after coming back. We've only had the business about a year and a half, and we've been very successful at it, and it's getting better and better. But we're still hand to mouth. I'm not like it was before when I was an executive. Things have changed. COVID has wiped out everything for me. We lost everything down there, and especially in Costa Rica. But my point being that we need to get back to putting Christ in our lives and living like Christ lived instead of just lip service. And that's what Christmas is to me, is lip service. And that's why I think we should be putting more of an emphasis in Easter. And I'm going to do that. We're doing that now little by little, but I need to make a greater effort to do it. Like I said, we get burnt out at decorating Christmas. We go all out for Christmas, the Christmas dinner, for Easter this year, what are we doing? It's going to be real small. My mom took off to Hawaii, and that's usually where we all get together as families at her place. And she's in Hawaii with my niece and so she took them, my 18-year-old niece, right? And they went to Hawaii. So I have this issue in my family, right? The stuff we're talking about, the LGBTQ stuff, it's all my family. And my mom took her there, and it was a little bit of an issue too, but Mom did it, and she's there, and she's tolerating it. And my mom's, she's come back to church now. Just got her temple recommend back like a month ago after 35 years. So I see my mom come back. And, I want to sit down. Jeff was talking earlier, just a side note, kind of do a Jeff and Erick and Friends. And we've been talking about doing interviews with people, and we're going to get to that. We've just had, Jeff and I are both so busy after relocating that we're trying to get ourselves set back up again, get established work-wise, everything else. But the objective is here with this show, we're going to take this to another level. And I hope that's done, this summer for sure. I hope at the beginning of summer. But Jeff, that kind of experience and what we're seeing right now with all the theft, with the homes being taken, come just take the homes, right? And that whole idea that we used to have property rights here. We don't have property rights in America anymore in a lot of areas, and we're losing it more and more. It's more like being back down in Costa Rica, Yeah, you get steward title, but that doesn't mean nothing if the courts don't uphold that title. And they don't. They uphold squatting, right? The squatters' rights. I've lost a lot of land in Costa Rica to squatters' rights. And now we're seeing it here. And we went to leave our home yesterday. Like my wife said, make sure that door pulled shut good because it's in the rain area and the rain's hitting that wood door. That door's been there forever. My grandfather put it on there and it doesn't shut. It gets swollen sometimes. I got to change it out this year. But anyway, I'm worried now when I leave my home, am I going to come back and find somebody in my home? Because in these blue states, all they have to do is get into your home and the police won't take them out. So you can have a thief come into your home and just say, I live here. And the police will not remove them. That's where we've gone in that kind of corruption. So
right, but there's ways around that now where people are. You saw that. I think it was you that sent that Stossel video on YouTube where people are just going. They're locking those people out. They're going back and doing the same thing that they're doing and squatting, taking over the house, redoing the keys, and moving into the house. Which, if that's the way, and this is the way we have to play. Look, I had some, an undesirable couple show up to our park in front of our house yesterday. But I don't know what they were doing. The girl had the big sheet over her head, and the other guy was looking around sketchy, and they looked like they were basically homeless, and I'm pretty sure that they were doing some kind of drugs, either smoking, crack or crystal meth. I'm not used to seeing that in our own neighborhood because we just don't. We're not in this park. So I'm thinking, well, what are we going to do about that? So and there's got to be ways, so talking to the other members of our neighborhood.
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.